Well, it was quite interesting crashing out in the tiny house last night and waking up in the tiny house this morning. Just kind of quite interesting, quite interesting. Now, it may be very somewhat dark in here, but that's because we're parked in the shade and we don't get a lot of light, and I don't have my lights hooked up. The batteries ran out while I was gone, but anyway. So, it was interesting, yeah, staying here last night. And now, what I did was I swept up all the floor, completely swept up the floor, swept up the counter. I swept everything around the little wood stove and everything. Just swept absolutely everything. And then made up the bed again and that. But I never washed down any of the counters at all. All the counters and not the the counter and the cupboards and the walls and everything like that. And even the ceiling, I guess. I haven't washed any of that down because I just didn't have time, more or less. But anyway, so when I came back and showed you the return to the tiny house after I got out of the hospital there's something I never got to show you because when the place was on fire and that, I just threw a lot of stuff outside, and I threw this piece out underneath the camper, and it kind of got buried. So what I'm going to show you here is down in here. You can see how badly charred it is down in there, eh? Terribly, terribly charred down there and on the wall and that. And the bottom of that sword sheath is a bit toasted too. But anyway, what a lot of you might have noticed that before I had this black mat on the floor for my shoes and all sorts of things. But I also had the dog dishes down on the floor like this. Had everything down like that. Now look how badly charred that got. That was on fire and burning, and all the melted plastic and everything on it. And basically, I couldn't understand first when it first happened why the two dishes here were flipped over, kind of upside down on the floor here. Well, that's because I yanked this out while it was burning and everything. And I threw it out the door like that. And then later, like I said, I put it under the camper and forgot it was there, and I forgot to show you that. But that's how badly burnt everything was. Crazy, eh? Crazy, eh? Well, I guess it's time to, ouch, get on with, let's say, washing down the walls and the cupboards and the counters and everything here, and just see if we can get some of the smoke damage out of here and fire damage out of here and the smoke damage and get a bit of the smell out. Yeah, last night it wasn't really eerie or that weird, just unusual, but it was just the smell of smoke. Every time I woke up, I could smell the after smell of the smoke that was in here. Yeah, so anyway, it's time to get on to washing everything down, okay? Let's do that. Ooh, yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Yep. So there we go. I have washed down every surface of everything in here at all, including the ceiling and the floor, and washed everything down with hot soapy water. And here with the windows open here like this, the windows open, the door open, it's actually starting to smell better in here. Get a little fresh air and cleaning up some of that smoke smell. Unfortunately though, this spot down in here in the corner here. Okay, this here is actually rubber from the mat that is fused and melted into the linoleum floor there. So that's going to take some scraping and doing to actually fix that and clean that up. And that black spot there on the wall is not actually smoke damage. That's actually burnt wood. There was enough flame or whatever burning in that corner to actually scorch and burn that wood. So that would have to be fixed with sanding and all that kind of stuff. But that's a bigger project and something for another day. Same as the melted rubber into the linoleum there. So anyway, all surfaces are clean now anyway, and I'll have to address those parts later. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take the sprayer bottle. It actually got melted in the fire too, but it still works. We're going to put 10% white vinegar into that sprayer bottle, and then the rest is 90% water. So we're going to have a real nice vinegar water spray, and we're going to spray down all the walls and surfaces in here, including the floor again, and that should help neutralize a lot of, good portion of the smoke smell and everything in here. So let's get on with that. So there we are. We've got every surface in here sprayed down and wiped down with vinegar water, and it's actually starting to seem a little better in here with the windows open and the vinegar smell and everything like that. We'll just air it out and it'll be a lot better now. Pretty much everything in here was just superficial smoke damage, and it all wiped up except for that one spot down in the corner I showed you by the dog food dish. Those are actual fire damage, but it's not that bad in the end, and I can cover it up with a mat and stuff like that. And then there's just a little bit of damage up on here on the cupboards, on the shellac that was on the wood, and it's all bubbled up and that, but that's superficial damage too. I can leave it if I want to, or I can sand it down and restain it or something like that. But yeah, it was mostly just smoke damage in here, except for the couple of spots, and everything else is tickety-boo. So I basically keep it clean, and once all the damp smoke smell is out of here, it'll be all good. I'll have to check my clothes later and see what they're like afterwards. So anyway, now that that's all done and we can relax a bit, I think we should head out and go do something else for a while out in this beautiful sunshine here. It's absolutely gorgeous, this weather around here. So yeah, so now that that's all done, and maybe I'll take the girls for a walk and go do some foraging or something. I don't know, but we'll do something. Anyway, talk to you soon. Ciao for now. All right, so I took the girls out for a really good walkabout. Stretch their legs real good and let them do their thing. Anyway, I decided to come out here and look around, see what's out here, and maybe do some more foraging of some sort. Anyway, I wanted to show you this here. This here is a Douglas fir tree. Nothing else in this forest looks like a Douglas fir tree. They're really thick bark, really thick gnarly bark, and a lot of them drip sap like that. This is actually sap, and you can scrape this off and cut chunks of this out and save it for the winter time. If you stuck in the winter and you need to start a fire, that stuff will start up real fast. So that's Douglas fir there. And these two right here, this one and this little one, are also Douglas fir when they're much younger and they don't have that really gnarly bark yet, but they are Douglas fir. So this is the interesting thing about Douglas fir. Whoops, had a little moment there. The thing about Douglas fir, hemlock, pine, and spruce, they're actually all edible. A lot of the parts of the trees are edible, and certain parts of the trees are like medicine. And a lot of the First Nations and even the pioneers, early pioneers to this country, used it for food, for medicine, and a lot of other things. But right here, this here is the new shoots of the Douglas fir here, and all of these things, the new shoots on all of the fir, pine, hemlock, and the other one, they're all edible. There's a lot of traffic here for some reason today. Anyway, they're all edible here. And they all have their own kind of distinct flavors. Some are like very citrusy, and a lot of the other ones are kind of like resiny, like tree resin and stuff like that. But definitely you can eat this stuff as a survival thing in the wilderness if you're starving. It's good food for you, and it's good medicine for you. But a lot of the times, many of the pioneers and even the First Nations, most of the time what they did with these shoots was make a lot of tea with it. And pine needle tea and that is kind of well known and famous throughout history with the pioneers and even the First Nations and stuff like that. So yeah, all those are edible. They'll keep you alive, and even other parts of the older parts of the needles as well. Up in here is edible. You can make tea and do stuff with it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and collect a whole bunch of the end pieces, and I think I'll take it home and make some tea with it. Okay, talk to you soon. Ciao for now. Okay, I am specifically only talking about fir trees, spruce trees, hemlock, and pine. Nothing else right now, just those four. And make sure you identify them very, very well right off the bat, and you know what you're doing. Anyway, so what we've got here over this way, flip this around here. There we got, so I've got this all laid out here. And now you can put this in your food, and you can make tea. You can utilize it all year round. And it's good. It's got tons of vitamin C in it. It's also got medicinal qualities. Each tree, like between the fir and the pine and all that kind of thing, each tree has its own certain medicinal qualities and stuff like that. But this is a really good thing for somewhat for foraging, but more for survival kind of thing. And it's definitely edible, and you can do this all year round. So anyway, I've got all these fresh tips here, all those, and I've got these ones all cleaned up there. Now, if you're doing a rice pilaf, a stew, a casserole, or even mashed potatoes or something, what the recipes generally say is you take these things here and you pull all the needles off so they're all like this, and it blends a lot better throughout your meal and everything like that. And it kind of makes sense. It looks really nice and light and fluffy. Anyway, so that, and also with the older, more mature needles as well, you can use them just like I have here, and then you just basically take them off the stem there like this, and you throw the stem away and just keep the needles there like that. So it's all useful for food and for tea and whatever your needs are. So anyway, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, so in the biggest use of conifer trees like this in the past for pioneers and everything like that, the biggest use was generally making tea in that. And it'll give you your vitamin C, it'll give you some nutrients, some medicinal qualities, and of course making a hot tea, hot fluids on any day, whether it's you know, the winter or another cool day, you know, always perks you up and everything. But it'll give you energy and help you survive and keep going, and give you your daily vitamin C kind of thing. So what I'm going to do with this here is I'm just going to put all that in there like that, and I'm going to put some of this in here, and it looks like I might need a little more, and I'm going to fill my mug about halfway kind of thing, loosely, and then just kind of push it down a little bit, just a little bit like that. Whoops, throwing it away there. And there we go. And then over here we've got hot water boiling here. Hope this ain't too hot for my hand. No, that's good. Hot water boiling. So you take boiling water and you pour it over top of those needles there and cover them really well. There, that's perfect. Just the perfect amount of water. Isn't that great? Let's turn this off. There we go. And then basically you want to cover that for at least 2 to 3 minutes minimum. And especially this kind of product, you probably want to do them maybe 5 to 10 minutes. You know, I've got a thermos mug here, so it'll keep the water hot longer. And I can let that steep for a very long time if I want. And there we go. That is conifer needle tea. And like I say, you can put it in foods and stuff. And in the end, it's not so much for wild foraging on a daily basis or whatever for your daily meals and everything like that. But in a survival situation, if you need some energy, vitamin C, and some nutrients to get you going, the nettle tea, the needle tea, I should say, will do the trick for you. And it's good and healthy for you. So if you also want to, you can take some and cook it in your food as well. So anyway, that's the conifer wild foraging information. So yeah, as a trail food or trail snack or whatever, it's not fantastic tasting or anything like that. It's very strong, very kind of pungent, bitter, but it will keep you alive. That's for sure. Survival situation, it will keep you alive. But like raw like this, it's not the best thing in the world. Um, like I say, yeah, I'd keep that for survival situations. But as a tea, and I can see why the pioneers didn't mind so much, and anyone else. But as a tea, it doesn't actually taste half bad. It's not bad. Personally, I'd like a little honey or sugar or something. But just as it is, it's not so bad at all. It tastes like a pine tree, but it also has other nuances in there, like citrusy fruits or something. I'm not sure. And a bit of a resin taste, but it's actually, it tastes like so, you know, some other type of herbal tea. Mm. Mm. The needles are floating up. Let's get those out of there. But yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad. I can see why the pioneers would enjoy this on a, let's say, a cold, wintry afternoon or something, because it would warm them up for one, and it would also give them vitamin C and all sorts of medicinal nutrition and everything like that. So this is great. Yeah. Not bad. I would do that again. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and the kind of foraging. I guess it's more for survival, like I say, not your typical foraging for everyday use and stuff like that, like I do with mushrooms and the other stuff. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and just be safe and be careful out there, and we'll catch you in the next video. Okay, ciao for now. Hmm.